Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Ipshita Bansal from BPS Women's University, Sonipat. Today we are going to talk on the module Paralanguage from paper Business Communication. By the end of this module, you will be able to understand what paralanguage is and how it is different from language. You will also be able to understand the various components of paralanguage. And lastly, you will be able to understand the advantages of paralanguage in conversations. Paralanguage is an essential part of non-verbal communication. And as it is non-verbal, it does not consist of words, but when associated with words, it adds to their meaning and increases their impact. Para means like. Hence, paralanguage literally means like language. And paralinguistics is the systematic study of how a speaker verbalizes. Many times, even without the words, paralanguage conveys the message about what people are communicating. At times, when we listen to people talk, we may not be able to hear the words clearly. But by the manner in which they speak, their voice, tone, pitch, intensity, we may make out what is their intention and attitude. This is the power of paralanguage. The first component of paralanguage is voice. As soon as we utter something, the first thing which comes out is the voice. Also, on the other hand, whenever someone is speaking, the first thing we listen is the voice. Even if we are not able to see the speaker, but just by the voice, we can identify the gender, the background, temperament, and much more. Clarity of voice is very important. The voices can be ambiguous or unambiguous, pleasant or unpleasant at times. The clear voice will effectively convey the clear message. This is the reason that in some jobs it is essential that the applicant may possess clear and pleasant voice. For instance, job involving the task of the receptionist or of attending the telephone, in call centers, and for the job of radio jockey, etc. Tone of speech is another component of paralanguage. The tone while speaking can be harsh and loud, soft and gentle, pleasing and comforting, sharp and full of rage, etc. According to Raman and Singh, tone is the attitude of the speaker as revealed in the choice of vocabulary or the intonation of speech. Tone is used to convey an outlook of the speaker at conscious or unconscious level. It is important and easy to learn the intonations of our own native language, but seems difficult while learning the second language. For being the good speaker, the person should have command on the tone with the intonations. This may make his speech more influential and interesting. The change or the modulations in the tone may change the meaning of the words or actions. For example, a cough can convey different meanings. It can be for actually clearing the throat or for reminding someone to speak out as it is the right time, or it may also convey that one should stop speaking more. That is, to be careful of the speech as people are listening to you. Pitch. Pitch is a measure to find out the high and low of the voice. The rise and fall of the pitch varies every time we communicate, depending upon with whom we are communicating and what we are sharing. Pitch has a lot to do with one's state of mind. The levels of pitch can be too high, too low, or monotonous. The pitch is too high when the person is excited or speaks in anger. Automatically the pitch rises. Too high pitch can irritate the audience. The drawback is that due to high pitch, people may not be able to concentrate on words and will lose interest in the conversation or get irritated with the speaker. Too low pitch makes the bold words sound dull by separating the energy and strength of those words from the speaker. Too low pitch with a big audience is a worst situation while delivering the speech. On the other hand, it has some positive aspects too. Low pitch can be used while talking to someone, especially if the person is feeling low. Monotonous pitch for the person who is delivering a speech, the pitch depends upon the topic or the subject matter. The variations in pitch are important to attract the attention of listeners and to keep them interested in speech. Without the proper use of pitch, the speech becomes boring and conveys a monotonous sound. Therefore, to maintain the curiosity of the audience, it is vital to maintain the right pitch. Therefore, in day-to-day discussions, we listen voices at various pitch levels. Many speakers are not aware about this aspect, but once they take hold of this small thing, the problem is automatically solved and the communicator becomes more competent and dynamic. The best way to improve one's pitch variation is to observe the great speakers while they are speaking or to watch the videos of great speakers. At the same time, it is equally important to maintain the pitch level at which the listener gets the points comfortably. The volume variation is the essential part of paralanguage, as it refers to the loudness and softness of the voice. Many times, people who have a loud voice are considered confident and successful, and the persons with low or dull voice are considered unsuccessful or lacking in confidence. But this may not always be true. People always speaking in a loud voice may be perceived to be aggressive, and people talking usually in low volume may be considered calm and stable. This depends upon the cultural background of the person who's speaking and who's listening. However, the volume of speech should be modified as per the situation required. Variations in volume. The contrast provides the emphasis. Volume variation puts life into our speaking. The variation in volumes are important whenever we speak. The volume of the voice should be adjusted according to the number of audiences and the place. If the number of listeners is huge, it is evident that the speaker needs to be more loud so that his or her voice can reach all. Otherwise, the speech will be a waste of everybody's time, and everybody will not be able to listen carefully. On the other hand, if the number of audiences is less, the speaker should be soft, as at this time, even the softness of voice can solve the purpose of communicating the message. Spaces also affect volume. With the size of audience, the place also matters. If the conversation is done in open space, the speaker needs to be louder, even if the number of audiences are less. As in open environment, the voice spreads and will not be clearly audible if the speaker is too soft. The situation will be exactly opposite in a closed small cabin where the soft voice can be very effective to communicate the message. Another component of paralanguage is articulation. Articulation is the process by which sounds, syllables, and words are formed when your tongue, jaw, teeth, lips, and palate alter the airstream coming from the vocal cords. Poor articulation is a result of changing the sounds due to omitting, substituting, and distorting the words. The problem area for poor articulation can be found in two major reasons. The first reason for poor articulation is joining or blending the two nearby words together. For example, speaking going to as gonna, would have as woulda, could have as coulda, finally as finally, probably as probab, give me as gimme. The second reason for poor articulation is excluding the sounds which come at the end of the words. For example, important pronounced as important, dropping pronounced as droppin', thinking pronounced as thinkin', vibrant pronounced as vibrant. Because of these factors, the articulation gets weakened and the clarity is lost. Proper articulation of what we say is very important. The ability of proper articulation is not gifted to all, but it can be learned. The ones who can articulate properly should not switch to distorting of words. Nowadays, the distorted words are very much common among the young generation, but they should be aware that this can be a hindrance in being successful in job interviews. While applying for jobs, though their CVs may be shortlisted, but as soon as they will start speaking in interviews using the distorted language or short form of the words, they may be rejected. Therefore, proper articulation is very important. Poor articulation may be caused due to some uncontrollable reasons of physical and mental disorders, or due to the prolonged bad habit of using wrong words. But the good thing is that through proper practice, articulation can be improved. So, as articulation is important for our speech, whenever we interact in personal or professional setting, we must make continuous efforts to improve it. The seventh component of paralanguage is using pauses effectively. Speaking should also go together with pauses. While speaking with the pace, small temporary halt is important in between. We should not go on speaking without giving a pause. It is vital to pause at the right moment because if the pause is used in a wrong way or at a wrong place, it can even change the meaning and thereby create many problems. A pause can be highly effective in gaining the audience attention as it will make the content clear and easy to understand to the listener. But too many and frequently used long pauses can ruin the speech and divert the attention of the audience and give the listener the chance of daydreaming. It is thus very essential for a speaker to observe his or her pauses in the speeches vigilantly. Another component of paralanguage is pace of speaking. Pace or speed of speaking refers to the rate at which a person speaks. This is the essential factor in understanding the reliability of the message and of the communicator. If a person speaks too slowly, the audience will lose the interest and the value of speaker will decrease. Speaking too fast also lowers the credibility, as many times in this situation the words are overlapped and the meaning is lost. Maintaining proper pace of speech is of utmost importance. Whether it is face-to-face conversation, public speech, meetings, etc., right pace of speaking is important for conveying the right message, feeling, and attitude. Thus, speaking speed plays a crucial role. Another component of paralanguage is non-fluency or disfluency. Communication is not always a constant series of momentous words. There are breaks in between the fluent speech, and we call it as disfluency. A person if says all is fine but at the same time stammers and seems afraid and nervous, it will reveal the truth that all is not fine. There are different kinds of non-fluency or disfluency which we hear in day-to-day conversations, which are discussed below. First, silence. The disfluency of silence have both negative and positive effect on communication. It provides a connection between messages. It may also create an environment of stress or of peace. It can also be judgmental by being in favor of or against the argument. It may be used for the agreement or disagreement of proposal. During the conversation, one may use silence to aid the reader forecast that what the speaker is going to say now. The silence probably gives the answer better than the long explanations. It is even said that at times silence can communicate more than the words. Next disfluency is fillers. Fillers are the words which create hindrances between speech by various sounds like ah, sh, etc. Such fillers should be avoided to be used too frequently. Another disfluency is hesitation. This is caused due to the perception in the mind of the speaker that he or she will not be able to speak nicely. This hesitation, due to lack of confidence, makes the speech more dull even before the speaker starts communicating. Fourth type of disfluency is repetition. It is the unnatural stretching out of sounds or repetition of some words like I mean to say that what I mean to say, you see, okay, etc. It is interesting to know that some of these disfluencies, if used at the proper place, also aids the speaker to breathe and relax for some seconds between the speech, but frequent use of these discrepancies irritates the listener and breaks the communication message. The 10th component of paralanguage is putting proper stress on words. Putting proper stress on words is of great significance in communication and for the correct transmission of message. By putting stress or importance on different words in a sentence while uttering them can change the whole meaning of the message. For instance, the following series of sentences is stressing a different word, which is underlined each time it is spoken. She writes excellent business mails is the sentence. In the above example, although the similar words are used in each sentence, the emphasis is shifting from the person she to writing to mails in the last sentence by stressing on the underlined words. It is important for every speaker to know which words should be stressed more while speaking for effectively conveyed the message as intended. The speaker, while speaking, should have a balanced pace, getting fast while communicating the easy and common topic, and slowing down when using the difficult terms or the subject matter that is new to the listeners. Getting hold of the speed will make the voice clear and send the convincing messages. Understandable voice from the balanced rate of speech is the strong and easiest instrument through which we can convey our intentions and thoughts in an effective manner. Henry Wadsworth stated, "The human voice is the organ of the soul." The voice is the invaluable source for social and professional interactions. If the speed is balanced, voice improves and even the relationship improves as it helps in making the impression in the mind of the spectators. So students, let's understand about the advantages of paralanguage. Paralanguage is closely related to language as no verbal message is clear and complete without it. It also clearly talks about the individual's educational background. The regional or national background of speaker is also depicted as paralanguage talks a lot about it. Paralanguage gives the hints regarding the speaker's mental and emotional state. The use of speed, pitch, and pauses convey that how much skilled the speaker is in communication. Paralanguage has a great value, and a vigilant listener can learn a lot from the efficient speaker. Diverse indicators are also very important with respect to paralanguage. People very often communicate in a way which conveys the diverse or mixed feelings behind the message. Words convey one thing, but the manner conveys another, or the exactly opposite thing. It is said that words can denote and connote the meaning. That is, words can carry one literal meaning and the other the implied meaning. For example, an employee is overburdened with work in the office and the deadline to complete the work is near. At that particular moment of stress, one of the old friends of that employee visits him. The employee on the one side is happy to see him. He says, "Hi, good to see you." But his manner of speaking, due to the pressure he is in, may convey that he is upset to be disturbed. The mixed feelings signal the ambiguous message to the friend, where words are proper but lack the warmth of pleasure. To make the communication effective, it is important to notice that what and how of the message should be in harmony. That is, what we are saying and how we are saying should be in right blend. These factors influence the aspects of paralinguistics in the process of communication. Because if the signals get mixed up, the intended message will not be rightly expressed or it will be wrongly understood. Quality is the vital element of all the aspects of paralanguage. As it is important to use good quality of words while communicating, it is also vital to have good quality of voice. People ignore to pay attention to the harsh, cracked, and dull voice and are willing to listen to the soft, soothing, motivating, and the voice full of energy. The voice varies a lot according to the gender. Adult men have deeper and heavier voice in comparison to adult women. This is due to the reason that men have longer vocal cords and the pitch of voice depends upon the length of these vocal cords. The quality of voice also depends on few other aspects such as space in the nose, sinuses, movement of tongue, shaping of lips, and the distance between teeth also bring changes in the voice. Since all this structure of individual is different from each other, or as each individual is unique in these features, so the voices of each person will also be unique. No two persons in the world can have the same voice. Rhythm. Rhythm during the speech ranges from swiftness to jerkiness. Rhythm is basically used to express emotions and can be used when appealing to the feelings or emotions of peers. Rhythm should be avoided or used very carefully in business communication, such as presentations, discussions, and in board meetings. But it can be used in informal talks. So, students, let's now summarize what we have learnt in this module. Paralanguage is part of non-verbal communication. It is, in fact, significant and a step ahead than words. It is not the language, but it is like the language, which depicts the manner in which the words are spoken, which makes the speaker's thoughts more influential. It involves the tone, voice, pitch, articulation, volume, speed, fluency, quality of voice, etc. The balanced use of paralinguistic helps in conveying the message more valuably. To make the speech effective, it is important to avoid long pauses, duplication of words, and frequent use of fillers. A good blend of different aspects of paralanguage or a balanced volume, pitch, tone, speed, and the current fluency makes the speaker an energetic and successful communicator. In business organizations, the focus on paralanguage is increasing day by day. The reason behind this is the continuous interaction of marketing people with the customers and the continuous engagement of seniors with the juniors and continuous interaction among the peers in an organization. The quality of speech plays the vital role in influencing and convincing the customer. Paralanguage is also used in the jobs which are based on speaking skills, like in call centers or the job of talking on the phone. For effective communication, controlling the paralanguage is of vital importance. Thank you.